YouTube, I read yet another book. The book I read this time is Crescendo, the second book in the Hush Hush series by Becca Fitzpatrick. This book follows Patch and Nora almost immediately after the events of the first. Nora now has her own special guardian angel, and things could not be better for Nora and Patch. They spend the summer going on dates and just have general lovey-dovey time. That is until Nora spits out those 3 words and suddenly Patch is just all now. He is not about that. In fact, he is so not about it that suddenly he is about Marcy Miller. Do you remember her? She's the cheerleader thing in book number 1 that Nora and V just cannot get along with. And finally, Miss Fitzpatrick gives us a valid reason for all that hatred Nora has. Patch is spending all of his time with Marcy, and what's worse is Nora cannot get him to explain why, which gives a perfect opening for old childhood friend Scott Purnell to come back into Nora's life. Now, old Scotty the potty used to make Nora eat like bugs and bully her, and now he's back and he's Scotty McHottie. And suddenly he has an intense interest in Nora. And with Patch ignoring her left and right, Nora might be giving him a little more attention than she thought she would in the first place. And even though her gut tells her that something's not quite right about him, she finds herself inexplicably attracted to him. And the whole cherry on top of it all is that now Nora's father's ghost is appearing everywhere and talking to her. Even if Hush Hush didn't scream Twilight to you, Crescendo's gonna take itself and beat itself over your head and go, I am New Moo! Seriously, the book starts off with lovey-dovey, happy-go-lucky times between Nora and Patch. And almost immediately in the first chapter or 2, they have a dramatic breakup. And Patch disappears, and Nora's heartbroken, and enter Scott. Now, Patch doesn't just disappear off of the face of the earth like Edward Cullen does, but he ends up dating Marcy Miller instead, or at least Nora seems to think they're dating, and as a result, Nora purposely puts herself in dangerous situations so Patch can save her. Just like Bella did with Edward hallucinations. Like, come on. And Crescendo's plot is almost entirely eclipsed by Bella's pining and mourning over the loss of her relationship with Patch. In fact, in the first couple of chapters in the book, Nora tells us that she can't even remember life without Patch. Now let's take a step back here and remember that they met in April in biology class, and now we're in June, July of summer, and suddenly her entire life means absolutely nothing without this one guy? Like, come on. Come on. There is more to life than one boy. And apparently Nora has no idea that this is an actual thing because the entire book is her crying about losing Patch. Now, I get it. We all go through bad breakups. We all feel like it's the end of the world. We cry up on our beds and huddle with our books and Ben and Jerry's and whatever. But we don't go and try to get ourselves killed, so hopefully we can catch a glimpse of our ex-boyfriends. Especially not the ones we broke up with. And once again, Miss Fitzpatrick has these small little details that I understand are meant to move the story along, but completely throw me out of the world. For example, Nora decides to get a job as a waitress. Now, I've had a couple of jobs in the past, and you at least need to fill out an application. And even if you didn't have to fill out the application, there is a certain amount of paperwork that you fill out. Nora breezes in, gets a job, doesn't fill out any sort of paperwork, doesn't have an interview, doesn't have an application. She's just hired on the spot. Like, here you go, here's your uniform, start tonight. Because I can suspend my belief far enough that there are fallen angels in the world, but not quite far enough that Nora doesn't know who's sitting behind her in biology class, or that she can just walk into a restaurant and magically get a job because, hey, I want one. Once again, the climax was good. Miss Fitzpatrick's very good at the climaxes. Unfortunately, it just didn't make up for the other 300 painful pages of Nora crying. There's just very little plot mixed in between all of Nora's pining for Patch, and don't get me wrong, I really like romance and YA, and if I'm gonna settle down for a really good romance, that's fantastic. But I just... crying over a boy for 400 pages isn't romance to me. It's just really, really sad. I don't like the idea that we're teaching young people that they cannot survive without a boyfriend. Nora, you've known him for 3-4 months. Like, find a hobby, honey. Really, please. Find yourself something. I don't know. All in all, I'd give Crescendo a 2, if not 1 out of 5. I really did not enjoy this. And I will give Silence a shot, but unless Silence can redeem this, I'm pretty much done with the Hush Hush series. I'm not even going to pick up Finale if Silence can't impress me at least a little bit better than Crescendo did. Hush Hush, I might be breaking up with you. I know you'll probably cry about it for 600 pages, but it'll be okay. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, maybe even subscribe, who knows, and I will see you next week.